Did you though?
I didn't want to think about it, but I had it in the back of my head.
Because like I was just saying it to be a jerk.
No, I know what you were saying, but like
But
the first, like just the whole vibes of the game, it just felt off, and it's just like one of those things.
from experience, as soon as you throw an interception to Aiden Hutchinson, things go downhill.
Well, I think I felt the bad vibes before that
Before that, yeah.
when we had the Simonez's roughing the passer on the first drive.
That was
Their
a good
first drive.
call. I'll give him that. Like that was actually a legitimate roughing the passer.
No, I know. I'm not bitching about the
No,
call.
yeah.
Just,
There were
it was on
some
third
shitty
down, and
there
was
were some
just,
shitty calls, but
It was on third down, so it's just like fuck. It's gonna be one of these days.
do we know we hit the live button?
Yeah.
All
I know.
Just making sure. I'm making sure Danny knew. You obviously hit the button.
It's not.
Are you wearing? What is this shirt? It could be Thor. I don't know
Looks
what
like
coffee.
coffee. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never
God,
seen that
Ben,
shirt in
get
my
your
life.
culture references together. Jeez.
Oh, it's Ziggy's Stardust. You're like you got cut.
Oh.
You don't see half the shirts.
I just saw a red paint face, and I was like, "What is going on here?" There you go.
DynastyHockey.com. I think that's what it is. Could be wrong.
No free ads.
No free ads.
Welcome.
Welcome, episode 341 of the SND Podcast Show. How's everybody doing?
342.
Really?
Yeah, you forgot to do the banner.
You know, you're all right here.
I just went to go tweet it out, and it came up 342.
There you go. Gobble gobble. Yeah.
Gobble up.
Football wise, I've been better. How you doing, Ben? And Steve.
Again, football wise, I've been better.
It all started going downhill once Appalachian State won that big game at home, Vin. The whole year went down for you.
Yeah, it's funny.
College game day was there, and it's all been downhill since.
I started off like fake rooting for Appalachian State, and I bet on them. They were favored by double digits, and they had to win on a last minute Hail Mary. I was like, I should have seen this coming. And then, yeah, everything football wise stunk. The Packers did not have any magic left in them, so now we just move on and try to get a good draft pick. And that's about it.
I will say, at least we're not Jet fans. I will say that.
So this was, I mean, I'm sure Danny, I don't know what time you left on Sunday. You probably had a similar experience that we were just sitting in the car and I'm like tracking the games. And then somehow I see, like, I looked at the Jet game. There was 34 seconds left, and it was fourth
Sean
down.
did the same. Sean did the same thing.
So I was like, okay, they're going to overtime. And then I came back, and I think we turned the radio on, and it said the Patriots had scored. It's like they had to have returned the punt for a touchdown. That's the only logistical thing. It's the only logical thing that could have happened. Right. Truly one of almost as bad as
I would say that it's so Jets. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting right now? Despite the win, Oakland Raiders would have the number 2 overall pick.
Yeah, they've been that bad.
It's almost like we should have gotten this year's pick instead of last year's pick.
Yeah, you blew it.
Yeah, but would you want one of these not so great quarterbacks? I mean, Stroud's playing.
No, but I'll take.
I don't really trust. I'm not into trusting.
I don't want top 10
I don't think I trust Bryce Young right now.
I don't want a top 10 pick for a quarterback. I want a top 10 pick for a player.
Right. I'm with you, Ben.
Sorry, I was looking through because I'm looking through like Walter Football just to kind of see like where the Packers would be picking at this point because it's 14, just so you know.
Really? The
Is that
NFC is
high?
such a fucking disaster. I know.
So the Texans have
What a
2 first-round
disaster.
picks.
So whose other pick do they have? I'm
I
blanking.
saw the Eagles have a top 10 pick because of one of the trades they got.
The Wentz trade? Yeah, it had to be the Wentz trade.
Had to be, yeah.
No,
No, it's
he was
one
in
of their
fucking.
trades.
No, he was. Could it
Texans
be?
have 11 picks this coming. Cleveland. Watson.
Why would the Eagles?
Why would the Eagles have
Not the
that
Eagles,
trade?
the Texans. Texans have.
Oh,
2
okay.
top 10
Texans, sure. Why do the Eagles have a top 10 pick?
It's one of their trades. I don't remember. I wasn't arguing it.
Eagles 2020.
They made so many good trades that I have lost track.
It has to be Wentz.
New Orleans.
I guess that was a trade up then.
Was that the trade? Because the report was around deadline was that the Saints wanted their first round pick back in order for the Eagles to get Alvin Kamara.
All right, you ready? Cleveland has Houston's first for that trade. No.
Draft night trade, the Philadelphia Eagles own the Saints' 2023 first round pick.
Yeah. So Cleveland sent their pick to Houston. Denver sent their pick to Seattle. The Rams sent their pick to Detroit, obviously.
Oh, it was a bunch of draft picks that were basically traded.
Yeah, it was a trade up last year.
So the Saints moved up to 16. The Eagles moved back to 18. The Eagles also got a 3rd rounder, 7th rounder, 1st rounder this year, 2nd rounder next year.
Because they traded both their picks last year. It was 16, and 19 for 18 this year's pick, and a 3rd and a 7th. Wow. And Denver has San Francisco's through Chase Edmonds.
So right now the Eagles would pick 4th.
That sucks for you.
So right now it's Houston, Vegas, Carolina, Philly, Jacksonville, Chicago, Seattle, Detroit, Houston, Pittsburgh. It's your top 10. And actually, Detroit has 2 first-round picks also because they have the 11th overall right now.
Yeah, they have the Rams pick. That you just said.
And according to Walter Football, you get both the quarterbacks right. You get 3 quarterbacks off the board right away.
Makes no sense.
And what's going on? Is Ryan trying to get out?
Levis has been terrible this year, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, but you always hear.
No, I know he's gonna show up on the. Yeah, he's gonna show
on
up
the film. The potential is bigger than
right, and then the combine and the interviews.
Listen, I still say nobody's talking about it right now, but the kid out of Georgia is gonna get talked about. If he has a big combine and a big pro day.
The thing with him is he reminds me of Mac Jones. He's one of he's like those guys that are great in college, and then once he goes to the pros, and depending on the situation where he goes, he's gonna be all right. He's gonna be okay, but he's not gonna be anything special. That's just me watching a lot of Georgia games. Like, yeah, right now, and for Georgia, he's playing good and obviously winning national championships. But I think of it like Mac Jones type of thing.
He does have a hell of a cast around him. I'll give him that.
That's my point. But like with Tua,
okay. No, I was thinking out loud, like, because you got to remember that the Washington football team drafted Sam Howell last year, right?
Right.
And with basically Wentz getting cut, how high are they on this Howell guy? Does Heineke kind of get that? Are you paying him or are you moving him? And it would be, and he's a free agent, so he's got no contract at the end of the year. So
I think you just move on from him if you get that chance to see what Howell is, hopefully, for them. or they go after another big free agent.
My
And,
so
and we
my
also
theory is
have to see what the ownership situation is as well.
Right.
right because it could be a move on from Heineke because he can probably go get overpaid somewhere. Someone's going to overpay for him.
Oh yeah,
The key is do you franchise tag him and then try and trade him to move up in the draft?
you're not spending $30 million.
Yeah,
for
but if he
Tyler
doesn't
Heineke.
sign the tag, it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, he's gonna sign the tag. He's making $3 million right now.
Yeah, but
He's gonna
you're
sign
still
a
trading
$30
him.
million.
You say, hey, we're going to tag you so we can keep you and move the
Right,
rights. to
but
you
then
to-
now somebody else has a $30 million cap hit to deal with.
Okay, so it's not like the Broncos.
That's-
You know,
That your
the Broncos
value,
love to overpay
the
quarterbacks.
value of your trade just plummeted if you do that. I think he just ends up in like San Francisco again. It's like we're just gonna cycle through people.
Yeah, he's that recycling quarterback that you're just gonna see 3 years down the road and back up and like, oh shit, Tyler Heineke. Remember when?
Or
Or
Indianapolis.
what Minshew is
Colts.
right now.
This is another. Remember when Steven, we were talking about this at the game? The Lions' backup quarterback.
Who the
Right?
hell is that? We still don't know who that guy
It's
is.
Nate Sudfeld. Remember? Do you remember that you said that?
Yes.
I figured out where that name. I knew it from.
It was
He
the
was the
Eagles.
guy that the Eagles put in when they gave up the game that needed the Redskins to win. The Redskins needed to win for the Giants to win the division.
The Redskins need to lose for the
Lose, right? And they were winning. The Eagles were winning, and they put
and
that
Nate
guy
Sudfeld
in.
was the guy who went
Yes.
in. So.
Yeah, Hurts threw a pick in the red zone.
Right. And then they put Nate Sudfeld in. So that's where the connection was.
That's
I
why
knew
the guy
when you
saw the
said it.
job because he's good at costing teams games.
Correct.
Got it. That's another team. Carolina, Detroit. You know, you look at a team like Detroit, it's like, all right, Goff is a good stopgap guy.
I think
At least
Goff's
for
a little
now,
bit better than stopgap, but yes, he's like a lower tier of like reliable quarterbacks.
I think he's hit the point where he's reliable, he's good enough,
Right.
but as you saw with the Rams, he's not the guy who's going to get you over.
I think if they played anybody but the Patriots that Super Bowl, they probably could have won.
Well, he also had a killer defense in that Super Bowl.
Well, yeah. It was a great defensive match.
He has an out at the end of the season
Right.
Which would be interesting to see if he takes.
that
Does
it
he
would
take
only.
it and try and go sign somewhere else, or does he?
I think it's
does he-
them. They could cut him and just have a $10 million cap hit
Then yeah, they'll
this
probably
year
do
and then
that.
5 next year, and that'll be it.
But
so they could just.
Where
do
would
it.
he go? Like a Carolina type of place or
San
something?
Francisco.
Indianapolis.
San Francisco.
Yeah, Indianapolis.
Indianapolis
Indianapolis
loves the over-the-hill quarterback.
That
They're
might be-
really
But he's
high
not
on
over
him.
the hill though.
He's not over the hill. He's
He's just at his
serviceable.
peak.
He's at his peak, but he's that classic. He's not good enough to make your team win when he has the big cap hit, but he is good enough to make a bad team decent.
Right.
When
Like the
watchable.
Falcons would love him.
Correct. Which the Falcons.
Well, didn't they sign Mariota for another? Doesn't Mariota?
Yeah,
like-
they
have
also
another year with
said
Mariota.
like they're only playing Mariota until they're out of the playoffs, and then they're putting in their
Ritter.
guy.
Ritter.
Yeah, which Mariota's been playing fine.
Yeah, I had to play him in
Aren't they in the
fantasy this
first?
week.
Aren't they like Mariota?
They're
is
in first
also a
place. They
captain,
have to
by
be.
the way. Mariota
That's
has
what the Bucks are.
an out. By the way, also at the end of the year,
Are the Bucks in first place? I don't know. The Bucks have been terrible.
they've all been terrible in that division.
I know.
Yeah, but
The Bucks,
the Bucks are
are
gonna wake
half
up.
a game up.
Oh, okay.
Bucks are gonna wake up though.
What? They're all 5-5, right?
5-5. Falcons are 5-6. Saints are 4-7.
Okay.
Panthers are 3-8.
And the
Remember like
Bucks.
2 weeks ago when we thought the Panthers beat like Atlanta, they were going to be in first place.
Well, because they decided to not play PJ Walker anymore.
No, he's been playing.
No, Baker's been playing.
Yeah,
They did-
Darnold's playing tonight this week.
I mean,
Jeff.
Okay,
Jeff
so it's
needs
basically
to-
we're throwing a
what are
coin
we
up in
doing
the air.
here?
We're gonna throw a coin up in the air to see if it's PJ Walker or Baker, and
You need a
then
3-sided coin. With
and
this-
then the winner of that's
idiots.
gonna do a 2 out of 3 rock paper scissors
Right,
versus
with
Sam
Sam
Darnold
Darnold.
to see who's starting.
Oh my god. We're playing odds and evens now to decide a starting quarterback.
They're just throwing whatever
Poor
they
DJ
get at the
Moore.
wall.
And also, yeah, that's right. The Bears. Who's their backup quarterback?
Oh, I heard it today.
He's got a He's got a what was it? Separated shoulder, strained shoulder.
Yeah, separated shoulder on his non-throwing arm.
But and like his knee was fucked up
Trevor
too.
Simeon is the Chicago Bear backup.
shit!
Trevor
Let's
Simeon
go.
revenge game.
That is the furthest thing from Justin Fields on the planet.
See, this is the Jets get right game if they really want it. Offensively,
I can't
defensively,
believe
they're top 5 defense.
that Trevor Simeon was a Jet, and you're right
He
about
was.
it. When
He
you
got
said that,
rid
I
of-
was like, the Bears are not playing the Texans or the Broncos, or whoever the hell he was on. Was he
Yeah,
on both,
got-
or is
he
that
played
Osweiler?
Random Monday night game and he got lit up and we never saw him again.
That was Osweiler.
How about speaking of? Are we gonna get a Trevor Simeon versus Joe Flacco game this weekend?
It's going to be Mike Wake.
What? I don't
Again,
know.
another team. They're doing the Carolina thing. They're just gonna put the coin
because they
between two of
didn't
them.
play Mike White when he was healthy and Flacco was the quarterback. Like the
Yeah,
first
but
6
for
weeks.
whatever reason, he's number 2 on the depth chart.
It doesn't because he had the crazy game last year.
Right, he went on a winning streak last year.
Right. He
won that one game against
he won
the
one game where he threw like
Bengals and then he
400
got
yards.
hurt against the Colts.
Yeah,
And then
he
they
threw
fed
for,
him to the Wolves against the Bills, and they're like, okay, this is over.
he threw for like 350 yards one game.
And he was on his way to doing the same against the Colts that Thursday night game.
I
Oh,
honestly,
that was the Thursday night game.
this sounds dumb. I really think they should play Flacco.
He
I'm
was he
almost-
was getting the offense going the first.
I
What do
can
you have to lose?
I'm almost positive he can get you 10 points a week. I'm almost positive.
With that,
I mean, he did have that big game against the Browns at the end of the game.
Yeah. I mean, the Browns gave him that, but whatever.
They are the Browns.
one more week. It's what's his face's last game as a starter for them? Brissett.
You see the crazy thing that he the last 2 times that Brissett has started a game in Buffalo, it's snowstorms.
How has he actually been playing?
Not
Been
terrible.
playing fine.
He will forever be the person that I think could be good in my head. He threw 3 touchdowns last week. Damn, bro.
Cooper's been money as well.
So they
90 passer rating, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Jacoby Brissett's doing his thing.
Did you guys see that it wasn't the fact of the actual snowstorm that made them move the game, but because apparently in Buffalo, the only place they had to actually put the snow was the stadium?
It was also 6 feet of snow, so
No, they were able. They had plows. They could have got in there. They could have got all the snow out. But the only place that they were able to actually get most of the snow was pushing it towards the stadium.
that sounds dumb.
Also the weirdest thing is they didn't stay in Detroit.
Well,
Yeah,
also, why'd they wait till after the storm to fly?
Right. Well, that's the other.
They announced it
It's also-
Friday morning. You get the hell out.
I don't know what it is because we're talking about this. It like Buffalo, like half of it got the snow and the other half got nothing. So it's like it was literally half the players were in one part of town and couldn't get out, and the other half were fine. So maybe it was that scenario. I don't know.
Did you guys see the coach was driving his Super Duty Ford pickup and picking up players at their houses to drive?
Oh, I didn't see that one. I saw all the Bills.
Von Miller had a video. Well, the Bills posted the video, but it was Von Miller's recording thing because he's always got that guy recording him. It was basically, and then they got to the car and it's Coach Uber is here to get my guys.
That's funny. I saw the guy neighbors plowing one of the players out, and then the other video of him trying to throw out his dog as a joke, and he goes, "Up, you're peeing inside."
I saw that one too.
I still don't. And then he made a point before, what was the point of going back to Buffalo?
No clue.
That was the whole point of having the advantage. We're
could've
taking the
stayed there.
advantage.
So they left, and now
Came back to Buffalo
they're back. They're flying back right now, probably.
Tomorrow they say.
tomorrow, Wednesday, day before
Oh
usually.
yeah, tomorrow. I thought it was Wednesday.
When we're
I'm in
recording.
But then again, it's not a bad flight. Got a couple nights at home, I guess.
maybe 48 hours.
Did you guys see that it was the first time in 20 years that in the month of November, the home team had a winning record at Ford Field.
Yeah, I saw. It is kind of crazy though, how lucky the NFL is that the Lions are always
On the
On the
road when
road,
something like
yeah.
this happens. The Giants got moved there when they were supposed to play in Minnesota. That one time.
Yeah,
I-
that was crazy.
I wonder what.
Um,
That was the
what
first Favre non-start.
No, he started and we lit him up.
No, he didn't start that game.
You sure? I thought we
100%.
started. I thought he started and we lit him up and he got hurt.
No, I don't think he ever. The streak never broke until he stopped playing. Because there was a week where he wasn't going to play, and then he said, "Fuck it, I'm playing at the last."
Yeah, I'm
second."
almost positive
And
we
he
lit
got
him up.
demolished.
I am pretty
Like I don't think he. Like I
Streak's
said, I don't
over.
think the streak ever got broken
literally.
until
I am
he
going
stopped.
to show you that it was right now.
Okay.
Favre streak over as Giants roll Vikings. Giants take advantage of Brett
So
Favre
then-
standing on the sideline
Maybe that was
Okay.
the week before.
as Travis Jackson started the game.
Tavares, wow.
Tavares
Tavares
Jackson.
Jackson.
I really was hoping that was Josh Freeman game, but that was the Bucks.
No, that was at home.
That was at home.
That was the great 1-6 Vikings in the.
I remember getting offered those tickets and I
Giants.
go, no, I'm good. I'm not prepared to go.
I remember being up 5 points against Tommy in fantasy football, and he had Adrian Peterson, and he lost
Right.
because the Vikings decided to throw the ball 100 times with Josh Freeman instead of just turning around and handing it to me.
Yeah, I just remember that night being crazy rain and I'm at work. I have like nothing prepared. I'm like, no, I'm good. Enjoy. I'll be at home.
It looks like it was the week before, Danny. They
Okay.
played the Bills, and he threw one pass for an interception, and that was it.
Okay. I stand corrected.
I believe me, we had
All-
the same memory.
All these years are blending through.
Yeah.
So what do
Well,
you guys
are
want
we
to hit?
Speaking of
giving
the
up
Giants,
on Zach
well, let's-
Wilson? Oh, I was going to
No,
go
I
right back
think-
to Zach Wilson.
I don't
Yes,
think
I'm giving up on tackles.
I wouldn't, but he needs to grow up.
At what point do you just say fuck it and just
I
Ride
would
the
bench
guy
him
out.
I would bench him this week and see. Get the growing pains and then throw him back in at some point.
It's weird. Maybe we just don't think about it. Like the thing with the young quarterbacks we always bring up is like, oh, Peyton led the league in interceptions that year, the first year. But like there were flashes. There has to be a moderate amount of flashes for you to like be convinced. And the only flash you've had is that like was it Pittsburgh when they had to come back in the fourth quarter?
Cleveland.
No,
no,
Pittsburgh.
it was Flacco.
With him, it was Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he did the same thing in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but he was Cleveland. It was Flacco, but Pittsburgh I think was Zach Wilson.
It was. He caught the touchdown.
Right. So there haven't been enough flashes. I think
There hasn't been this year, but you invested so much in him that you kind of have to eat it. But with this year's Jets team, they're playing so good that they
no,
should be making the playoffs. But
like you're in
Because
such a
of Wilson.
window.
right,
This defense is not going to be this good and this cheap for this long. For long.
exactly.
Ugh, it sucks. I think they will be the team that goes and gets one of these middling quarterbacks like Jimmy or Carr or
Goff.
Heineke or Goff or
This
one of
guy
those
makes
guys.
how much money a year, and he's out here buying new Jordans every week when he wins?
He makes $3 million a year, so it's enough money.
And he just
Okay.
spends all his money on Jordans.
On Jordans, all of it. Well, he doesn't win that much, but because his team
But
can.
when he does, he gets Jordans.
What if he beats the same team twice?
You get them in different colors.
It's the same color though,
Are they, though? You get reverse colors.
I guess.
If you beat them on the road, you get their home colors. If you beat them at home, you get the road colors.
I think that while the Jets were futile and horrible, the Giants are a little more interesting because things are slipping pretty quick.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I think it's everybody's acting like the world's coming to an end. Yeah, the injuries suck, and I'm very mad about the Adoree Jackson injury.
That's
week
what
to
I
week.
meant.
It's a week-to-week league. And Cowboys are very tough, so it's going to be tough. We just need to find a way to win 2 or 3 games to make the playoffs here on out.
I think it's more the fact that you're playing the Cowboys in the Odell Beckham Bowl.
Well,
and
yeah, well,
He's
the
already
Cowboys
going
should
to.
just
He's
sign
already
him.
in Buffalo according to Von Miller.
and
so it
the
doesn't
fact that the Giant game went the way it did with the Cowboy game going the way that did.
matter. Woof.
And then, like you said, your best corner and probably, to my eyes, Wandale Robinson was the best receiver on the field last week. Are now
Yeah,
both
well,
out.
he finally
Not
broke
see
out.
Kenny Galladay. We did see Kenny
Galladay doubled his catch total for the season.
Yes, he did.
So,
Danny, do you know how pissed off we were that we took? Not only did we take Kenny Galladay first touchdown,
I don't think I bet first touchdown.
Wow.
I bet the first touchdown. For $5, you got like $180.
It was because it was awesome odds.
And then, like, for him to score a touchdown, it was like $5 got you
I would
like
have
90.
just rather lit your money on fire.
No, see,
Excuse me. When they're down in the red zone and he's got one-on-one, and all you gotta do is throw a little fade, and
What
maybe
possessed
you're
you?
winning.
When have
You're
you
s-
ever seen them do that?
okay, one, they were playing the Lions. That's what possessed me. That was it.
Fair.
They were playing his former team. But the $5 that I bet to win, that would have won like $60 for him to score a touchdown. It was
yeah.
worth it. That was
Yeah.
the
The only time
was
I've ever
worth it.
seen them throw it to him in the red zone was in the preseason this year. And
It was a
dropped
guy
it in.
around us. We're yelling for him to throw him a fade, and it was a guy around us that was like genuinely sad. He's like, they should have thrown it. He was open. I was like, I know.
I can honestly say I don't recall Daniel Jones actually throwing a red zone fade ever in his career.
No, I don't.
He did. Andrew Thomas caught it.
There you go.
It's not wrong, technically, but
It was a fade.
It was like a
fade.
fade-ish. Yeah.
Fade-ish.
It's like a fade.
It was
with
a
a
floater.
jumper.
It was a float. Yeah, it was a floater.
I can honestly, not off the top of my head.
But still, like, I don't know. You see it in the red zone, you're like, you get your
It was
kind of hopes up, especially when all the safeties are in the box. You're like,
Right.
all right, let's do it. Let's go. One shot.
I enjoyed myself for my $5, and of course, didn't work.
It's going to be interesting. I really hope we find a way to stick with the running game because we're not losing by multiple touchdowns and keep it on it.
Sorry, I was looking at the picks for this week. Detroit game, Detroit's plus 9.5. Giants are plus 9.5, and then the Patriots are plus 3.5 against the Vikings. I don't really know how that makes a lot of sense.
What do you think it would take for this is a off the topic, off the cuff question. What would it take for the NFL to change the teams that play on Thanksgiving?
I don't think they would change the early games.
Like ever? It's going to be Lions and Cowboys till we die.
I think so.
I think it's
It's
just tradition.
It's just
weird.
at the point where it's just like
The Cowboys make a lot of sense, but I still don't. I mean, there's a reason obviously for the Lions. I don't remember what it is, and it still doesn't make any sense.
the advantage of the Lions is there's always that one team that's really good that they play every year, so they could just make that the Thanksgiving game so they can show off that team.
I don't know, it's been the division. They played a lot of division games on that day.
Well, it's either division or that
Past few
hot
years.
AFC team
Like,
because
Yeah,
they
this is
I
interchange.
feel like they played the Bears like 3 times.
Played Packers a bunch of times.
We haven't played. They haven't played us in.
Well,
a
it's
few
on
years.
Fox years. That's what they do, and then CBS years like this year, they'll have the hot AFC team
I guess.
because they've had the Colts on. I don't think I've ever seen the Patriots. I don't recall them.
I believe I've seen them. The Patriots are 3-2 all time in Thanksgiving games.
No, I'm talking about the Lions specifically.
Like playing the
The
Lions.
team lost its first 2 Thanksgiving games, falling to the Cowboys in 1984 and the Lions in 2000.
Okay,
New England is currently on a 3-game Turkey Day winning streak with wins over the Lions in 2002 and 2010, with a
Okay.
blowout against the Jets with the
That was a
on
10-year
the
anniversary
Yeah.
today.
They've
10-year
played
anniversary.
they played the Bears 3 of the last 40 years on Thanksgiving. It was
Yeah, but that's
Houston,
always the early game.
I
That's
know.
when you're basically traveling. You're not really.
Houston in 2020, Bears, Vikings,
It
Eagles,
seems like the
Bears,
lines are
Packers.
usually that 12:30 game where you're
Yeah.
usually either traveling, you're either just getting with your family. It's like it's background noise basically, and then like you get to the better games at night.
Patriots played in 2010. Yep.
And 12, but that was versus the Jets.
That was the butt fumble.
Happy anniversary of that, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another. As soon as they got paid, the team went to shit quarterback, Mark Sanchez.
So I was listening to the Papa Banks podcast today, and since the Super Bowl era, the Giants have played 4 Thanksgiving games. We have not scored an offensive touchdown. The last time the Giants offensively scored a touchdown was in the 40s at Ebbets Field
On Thanksgiving.
on Thanksgiving.
How is
I'll
that
send the clip.
possible?
I'll send the clip to the chat later
So
on.
they played 4 games. When's the last time they played?
Since the Super Bowl era.
Right. That they played 4 games. What are the 4
So-
games?
And the both touchdowns were Jack Rabbit's pick 6 and an LT pick 6. So they played it 82 or 83 against the Lions.
Okay.
Then it was 92 or 93 against the Cowboys. They got smoked. Kent Graham was starting.
Okay.
Then it was that Broncos game that they got killed in 2010.
Okay.
And then 2017 was the Washington game. And they lost 20-10. And that was Jack
Rabbit had a pick 6. Wow. All right, so that's the goal for this week is
Get in the
an
end zone.
touchdown. Yeah,
Offensive touchdown.
offensive touchdown.
Yeah, I'll
Daniel
send the
Jones
clip later.
rushing touchdown. Calling it
That's-
now.
Ridiculous.
Putting the money. Putting the money on it.
I thought he should have ran more before it
You know
got
what's
out of
been
hand.
interesting about the Giant offense the last 2 weeks? There really hasn't been a lot of run option plays. Like they're
Yeah.
like running it, but he's not keeping it. It's like
Right, that's what it is. They're running
Yeah.
read options. He's just not keeping it, and maybe
He-
that's designed.
From my angle, it looked like he had a couple of chances, but I'm guessing the end was there ready to kill him. So
Saquon just could never get anything going. on
yeah, they just
Sunday.
didn't get it going. That's what happens when they stack the box. And
I actually, you mentioned Bob Papa and Carl Banks. In my limited listening to them, they are. I would go so far to say overly critical sometimes. Is that a Giant fan thought, or is that just they've been bad, and that's how I hear it?
yeah, I think you caught him on a bad day.
Okay.
They're
Like they're honest. They're 100% honest.
No, they're very honest.
and the
you
Giants
listen
have
to
been
other-
bad, so that's kind of why it comes out negative.
When you
maybe.
listen to other teams play by plays, like I do when I'm leaving games, it's like listening to unprofessional people. It's
Oh, yeah.
the funniest thing.
You ever
like
just
the-
throw on the Viking guy sometimes?
Yes, that's exactly
The
who I
best.
was listening to.
Yeah.
The guy was like jumping on the guy's call the whole time. I was like, oh, like you're not watching the game.
The Viking play-by-play guy is the most homery worst announcer.
The Cowboys guy was pretty crazy too.
Is
but-
he? Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
he's
mean,
good.
like, it's so the world of NFL radio calls is so weird because there is no regular TV call for
Right,
each team. That it's just it's a weird, strange world that where they just hide in.
I'm sorry, this is still the funniest one for me was peak heyday Patriots. And we were listening to whoever they were playing. And it was one of the big 425 games because, of course, the Giants played at 1.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, Vin, it sounded like they were getting killed 41-0, but they were up 3 scores. And the color guy was acting like they are the worst team on earth. It was literally the funniest thing. I was like, this guy doesn't it's so weird.
It's so
It's
funny.
like, what are they doing? This is so terrible.
The Packers
is
guy does the same
embarrassing.
thing where it's like if there's a bad call, it's like murder has been committed on the field.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, Papa and Banks. See, the thing with Papa and Banks, they'll teeter into like criticizing, and then they'll be like they'll have the propaganda ready to go.
Okay.
Like listening to like the podcast today, they didn't have a problem of Adoree Jackson doing punt returns, and they were basically like, "Oh well, Deion Sanders did it, and this guy did it. You gotta play him." Like, but they didn't have the depth issue that we do, and that's not a football play unless he gets an interception.
Also, let's cool it with comparing people to Deion Sanders.
Oh well, no, yeah, they
on
didn't
return. I
compare
know
him,
that I know you weren't, but like, there's also an
wasn't a
upside
compare,
difference
but-
here.
But that was the point. They were like,
Yeah.
if Deion Sanders can do it, Adoree Jackson can do it, type of thing. And that's kind of
Sure,
I call BS
okay.
on that.
I call BS on it too because again, there's the upside is not there.
Like he literally got blown up. Like I saw it coming. It was bad.
Not
I
great.
mean, if you're really gonna do this whole comparison thing,
also
no.
Deion's the outlier because you look at every other great returner.
Right.
We were just talking about like Cordero Patterson has
Right,
really
no.
only become a legitimate offensive player the past few years when they made him a running back. When he
I
was a
can't
receiver,
believe
he was
that
nothing.
9 is the record for kick returns.
It's a lot. It's harder than punts. Hester has like 15 punt returns, I think. But like
Right.
Hester, Dante Hall, Josh Cribbs, they're all just special teams players.
Yeah.
For the most part, like they never,
Dante played wide receiver, so
Hey, again, Dante
But
and
he was
Cribbs,
more
they
of a
played
slot
wide
guy.
receiver, but they didn't. They
The
weren't
Bears ended up
elite.
using Hester a little bit more in the offense towards the
They
end
tried to because they were just trying to get him the ball, but it
I
never
think
worked.
with
because you knew it was going to.
the X Factor from Kansas City, like if it was like today's game, he would be like legitly like one of the top 5 wide receivers in the league because they're actually using slot receivers like a focal point.
Oh, if they had Dante Hall
But
in his
he
prime
also-
right now, oof.
Well, yeah, if they had him with Pat right now, but he also
It would be Kadarius Toney, who's already hurt.
who's hamstring
He-
is certain.
I think there was a difference. Like he was so much faster than people because he would always like go back and forth and like do the
Right.
things that nobody wants you to do. He would get
Right.
caught today if he was doing that stuff. I think.
Oh yeah, well of course. But that's so crazy to think like almost 20 years ago how different the game is now.
It is 'cause, like again, we're talking about these guys like Hester and Hall and Cribbs that like even Dion that it was a thing. We had
Every
returners.
time I hear Devin Hester's name, I just cry
Nobody
a little. I
gives
die a
a
little inside.
shit who's returning anything right now unless it's
Cordell Patterson.
those guys, yeah, that are kind of still, Patterson's the last guy around.
He's the
And
last
punt returner
legitimate.
for the Pats.
Oh, I guess. Well, yeah, but
Slater.
even that,
Is Slater their punt returner?
No, some guy
No.
named Jones.
yeah, it's like he's like a 3rd-round pick. He was just a rookie, but like even the dude on the Cowboys, you watch out for that. He's
good.
Like he's good. But
You
it's
know
like,
who else we don't
we
mention a
talk
lot?
about them.
Dwayne Harris was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dwayne Harris was good, but he was never like overly fast. That always interests me. He was just like
Right.
a good special teams player.
He was just a
Right.
smart one. Like he
Yeah,
knew
right.
when to go
knew
to
when
the
to hit the
sidelines.
hole.
He knew when to cut for a hole.
Right.
He always knew when to make the right move when he got the ball in
Yeah,
his
he
hand.
was a good player.
So
Honestly, with the Giants, you just need to catch the ball, fair catch. You don't even need to return.
I don't even want return people back there anymore. We were talking about it on Sunday. I just
Right.
rush the extra guy. I don't care about punt returns anymore.
Yeah, basically. But it sucks. And he's out for the next month, so it's going to be really interesting to see Nick McLeod and Flott. It's going to be tough
this is
sledding
gonna
for
be
the next couple
fun
weeks.
couple of weeks.
Darnay, and then we're
Listen,
playing
if
the
you
whole
get to that
division for the
point-
next month.
You mean Darnay Holmes, the guy who's basically becoming the new Eli Apple?
What
He
you're
waves his
saying
arms at
is
everything, just like
Well,
Eli
that's
Apple.
what they do. Yeah.
bet
He's
CD
speaking
Lamb
of
to
Eli
score a
Apple. He's not
touchdown
doing
this
anything. I'm
week.
shocked they haven't brought him in to fill in the role.
Eli
Well, he would
Apple.
just fight Landon Collins.
That's the interesting one. Like all these guys are out. Why not just at this point just lift
I
him
think
up?
they have to save him because I don't think they want to put him on the main roster yet. I think he has one more game.
Yeah, he has
Before
one
he
more
has to be
call up. He's been
activated?
called up twice.
Mhm.
He's one
Oh, he's
activation
in the
away from
practice
being
squad. Okay, got
Yeah. And then this is going to be week 3 for McKinney, so you got to figure maybe he's coming back to practice next week.
We'll see, man.
If that 4 weeks is really what they're saying, next week he gets on the field to practice, and then even was it Bellinger that was limited, I think, today, or worked out on the side? I know they ruled him out.
Honestly, I was busy today, so
I thought I saw that he was like sideline working out, which is good.
Well,
I know Evan Neal was, but apparently there's also the flu going around the locker room now.
Yeah,
everyone missed
Tom's
practice
had it
for that.
this week.
The entire offensive line is on it. I'm intrigued to see where Nick Gates plays on Thursday.
He would be starting guard. Center, hopefully.
No, because they're saying Feliciano worked out today, so they're saying he's going to be there.
Oh, well,
so he would be back at the guard.
Nothing really is going good right
Mario Lemieux's not that good at playing guard.
No, he was getting
NFL.
Shane Lemieux was getting.
I'm gonna say that was more rust.
I'm giving him the rust.
So.
I'm giving him the rust, and I wish they would kind of have let Gates start in that position and just kind of like let Lemieux be that extra guy. Let him be the guy, the eligible guy, so that way he could just kind of like get some plays in this week.
The weirdest
instead of just
thing
throwing him into the fire like that.
The weirdest thing about Lemieux starting on Sunday was we all thought because Azudu was hurt, but Azudu played the whole second half, so that made literally no sense at all.
You know what else?
It seemed
made
like he was
no
hurt,
sense?
but not hurt. One of those
Right.
like he's hurt, but he could dress.
Why did they introduce the special teams to start?
Yeah, that was the other bad thing, a bad omen of like today's.
Isn't it funny how they introduced the special teams and then they became the most important players on the team because they were all starting defensive players?
Yeah, I don't know.
Towards the end of the game.
They started announcing people, and the team was like, "Oh, I think it's like the starters." And I was like, "No, Andrew Thomas is like already out there. I see him."
Right, yeah. And I saw
Tibbs is already out there. I'm like, so it's not.
I saw Tibbs was one of the first ones, so I'm thinking, all right, we're doing the offense. I'm like, that's Barkley.
Yeah.
Are we not introducing? And what the hell? No Graham Gano and
they didn't do the kickers.
What is very funny.
Yeah. I turned to it. I go, it's going to be like a starting pitcher in a playoff game. Right. Where they're going to show him warming up on the scoreboard to introduce him.
But bounced off of that, I was like, that's like disrespect. I have faith in Graham Gano. Shouldn't have.
Good job, Vin.
Shouldn't have.
Guess what? Every time the Giants got inside the 40, Dan, Vin goes, it's okay. You guys have Graham Gano. We have faith in him. The guy goes out to miss two extra points.
I'm gonna be honest.
He had the flu. I think one was blocked.
One definitely was tipped, they said.
The second one, he just hit the upright.
Yeah.
One of them he hit the upright. One of them was tipped at the
first one was
tipped. Cager completely dropped the 2-point conversion.
Yeah. Well, that we were already outside by
that. Yeah, we were.
Yeah,
I
was already
on the escalator.
Too.
Yeah.
The escalator was. We were on the escalator already. We were already wishing friends walking by a happy Thanksgiving.
Right. So yeah, no, it's going to be a tough sledding against Dallas.
I did like in the second half you saw like less Dexter Lawrence, less Williams, and they even tweeted out they're like clearly resting. Clearly you're at the point of we're giving you guys less snaps this week because we have a short week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to need Thibodeau get some quarterback hits, and we're going to need the up front seven make magic this week.
Caden Thibodeau, middle linebacker now. Pretty much what it looked like.
Down.
Every third down, he's a middle linebacker.
Like, why is Tibbs lining up over center?
Yeah,
I get it. We're muddling.
We're moving him around, trying to just get him.
We're literally scotch taping and duct taping literally everything right now.
You know what I found interesting about him being the guy in that middle field, though? Like, he's fast on the edges. So we're just going to put him over the guy who's got to hike the ball.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's a very I wouldn't say versatile but when it comes to like defensive line itself, he's a versatile guy. I don't think he's one of those outside linebackers who should ever be going back in coverage.
It was, like I said, it was one of those like we're muddling the pass rush, we're sending people from all different angle kind of thing.
This was the least amount of blitzes, apparently, all year.
We didn't touch golf all games, so that's
why
all you
were
need
we
to
not
know.
blitzing?
And I think that was one of the windiest games at MetLife that I've witnessed. Too.
You know what? I said to Vin, when we were inside. The parking lot was very similar to the week before, but even inside there was a breeze
Yeah,
more than the
I
Houston game.
I messed up.
At our seats, it wasn't horribly windy, and actually until the sun. I mean, it wasn't terribly cold until the sun went down. When the sun was up, it was pretty fine. But yeah, it was a windy day.
Yeah, back-to-back weeks.
With that guy at quarterback, you gotta make him, make some quick decisions. Although they do have a lot of weapons.
They do.
They surprisingly have a lot of weapons. Imagine they built that offensive line around.
They do though. Their offensive line is not terrible.
It's okay.
It's really their defense. Just why they're 3
They've been
7.
scoring 30 points a week, right? It's just they can't.
Other
They
than
haven't been able to
2
stop
games.
anybody.
Yeah. Other than the last 3 weeks.
But yeah, they have Swift and Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
There was the
They've
third.
been using Williams a lot more than Swift though.
They have.
They're trying to protect him.
They
Also, I'm not
traded-
gonna lie,
yeah.
watching Aaron Glenn dancing on the sideline after Daniel Jones throws a pick is actually pretty entertaining.
I didn't.
That guy's high stepping on the sideline.
he
he's
was
all
going
pumped
kinda
up for
crazy.
these picks, and I'm like,
That was a bad.
all right, that's
interception,
I
too.
can't even be mad at that.
So
Which one? The Hutch one?
no,
No,
the
the other
second
one.
one.
Yeah, but that was third down, so it was
I know it was it was a bit of a force. I get it. It's just not there.
It was one of those
I agree.
you kind of felt our momentum because we had a big defensive stop, and then when we were moving, but you could feel the air completely came out of it as soon as Robinson ended up on the sideline, and we never saw him again.
Yeah.
That was literally when the air left the entire building, in my
Is
opinion.
the Giants making the playoffs a bad thing?
I don't think it's ever a bad thing to make the playoffs.
It's not like college that nobody's giving us money to make the playoffs and lose. So,
What's what I'm saying? Like, is it?
see, I was thinking about this earlier, and let's just say we end up as the 7, right? And end up in Minnesota because the Eagles have the tiebreaker over the Vikings. So, depending on how the rest of the season goes,
Philly,
Minnesota lost.
Dallas. Yeah. So okay. So yeah, Minnesota's probably gonna be a 2 seed.
Right. So figure you got to play in a dome week 1. Okay. Doesn't really give an advantage to anybody.
That's a crazy stadium, though.
It is a crazy stadium, but it doesn't really give any advantage to either team because of being indoors. So I never understood Minnesota wanting to be an indoor team.
They've always been an indoor team. I guess
I
that's
know,
why they
except
did
for
it.
those 3 years at Minnesota
At
University.
the Minnesota Stadium. Yeah.
And then the guy missed a 20-yard field goal over in with a second left.
That was it.
Completely.
Nah, that was nuts. Play wash. Play wash.
But going to Minnesota is not
It is though.
No, it is. It's one of
The stadium is nuts. Believe me. The
I was
weather
texting
obviously is not going to be
Ben
an
a
issue,
little bit yesterday about it actually because he actually went to the Cowboy
I
Viking
saw.
game
right
in Minnesota. So
in the experience of watching them play the Packers. It's always been crazy at that stadium.
well, you guys just don't cover Justin Jefferson. So
No, I'm saying fan wise, we've been pretty successful against them. We've been pretty successful against everybody besides, this year. But it's
When do you
always
play
a
them
tough
again?
place to play. What?
you got to play them again soon, right?
They played them week 1.
That's not the final week, is it?
No, I don't think it is. No, the final week is the Lions. I think. It might
January
be.
1st, so the second to last week.
Yeah.
Second to last week. Oh, and how about the NFL cutting down on the boozing?
What?
3 weeks in a row of Kirk Cousins dancing on airplanes.
no. The guy got a DWI. That's
Yeah,
why.
And then the tight ends
offensive
guy gets a
coordinator.
DWI on the
Yeah.
way home from the airport, and now the league wants to cut down and apparently fined both the Vikings and the Redskins or Washington football team Commanders, whatever they're called this week.
If on the list of hypocritical things the league does, this is at the bottom. But taking as much money from beer sponsors as they do, and then finding people for drinking.
The way
Okay,
the
excuse me,
reason
Calvin
why
Ridley.
I get it.
Calvin Ridley. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
right. It's every
They're
other.
please, for the love of God, join every gambling site you can and gamble.
Oh yeah, isn't Red Zone presented by FanDuel now? Or
No,
not FanDuel,
Amazon.
DraftKings? Oh, it's Amazon. Okay.
Well, they probably have an ad.
There was definitely a DraftKings ad there. No, when I'm saying about the Giants, it being bad, like, you get what I'm saying. We're starting a new process here with a new coach and a new GM. You probably should get a new quarterback, and
I think they're in such a building a culture aspect of like winning that if they make the playoffs, it'll be a good year one. The thing I'm worried about is the casual fan expecting more of this team than what they really should.
The biggest thing now is like, again, they got put into such a terrible situation for the New York Giants. The cap situations, just a full mess that, like Danny said, it's all about the all right, we want to just be positive this year. We're going to end this year. We're going to go through this year. We're going to look for only the good,
well, it's only a mess
like they asked him
till the end
about
of the
Adoree
year,
Jackson. Right? What did coach say? It's football. Why would I regret it? He's a football player. He went out there and returned the punt. I don't regret putting him out there. Like Joe Judge would be like, yeah, he got hurt. And McAdoo would be like, I didn't even know he was out there.
Dave Gettleman would be like, we could get hit by a bus tomorrow. Who knows?
Remember
Or was that
when
Kyle
they asked
Shanahan?
McAdoo what he said at halftime to the team, and he goes, I don't remember.
Yeah, well, that was just a play on words of not having the answer.
Right.
You should have just did the I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Basically. So, it's going to be interesting this weekend. You guys want to start picks?
It's interesting because like both teams, it's like such positive, and then like both teams just had very disappointing weeks.
Yeah.
And that's
Honestly,
what hurts the most.
It's 1 week. Hopefully we flush it out. It's a Cowboy game. We'll get it ready to go. And we've been playing, shocking everybody all season long.
That was really ugly,
All righty, what do we got here?
I'm going Lions. They're just tough enough for the 9 points.
Yeah, I think I think they're cover machines. I'd like to know their record against the spread this year. It's probably pretty good.
It's gotta be in here, right? Let's see. No, it doesn't say. I would think it would.
Detroit is 6-4 against the spread on the season.
There it is, yeah.
They cover 60% of the time. The Titans are the best team in the league against the spread. They're 8-2. Right?
I'm gonna go Buffalo goes in there and blows them out.
All right.
Also, I'm in last place, so I won't need wins. So we're covering. We're covering the 9.5.
Yeah, we're covering.
Nope.
I don't see us not covering this game.
Well, you can't stop the run. And they have 2 good running backs. And you have no corners. And they have CeeDee Lamb. That's my answer. I really want to take
Giants are 7-3 against the spread.
Yeah, because they were undervalued most of the season.
5-1 as the underdog this season. Apparently, the spread has gone as low as 7.
I think it's a division game too. Hopefully Vin's not right, but I could see him being right.
Vin's never right, so
exactly.
You're probably on the right track, but I'm taking the
Vikings 3.5.
They're going to bounce back.
McCorkle is not good.
I don't care who's playing quarterback. They're going to bounce back. They're not that bad. They're not great, but they're not that bad.
We said it earlier. Tampa's going on their run now.
Yep.
Oh, for sure.
3-0 since the divorce.
Sure, yeah. Taking the Bengals.
What?
Taking the Bengals.
Oh, we jumped. Sorry.
Damar back or no?
1 more week, I think. They're trying to tell him to be in a cast, and he's like, telling him to go fuck himself. Like he wants to play in the cast. He's out of his mind.
I'm going Tennessee.
No, I'm Joe Burrow's my guy.
Tennessee. This is the number I need to see. What's Houston against the spread?
Oh boy, that's Houston against the spread is
4-5-1.
4-5-1, which is obviously not good.
Yeah, but it's not terrible.
Basically 500.
In Miami, I'll take Miami.
Yeah.
I think they'll get some of those like late touchdowns in Houston.
Oh yeah,
I'm going Jets because we don't know. Nate Sudfeld might be playing.
This has nothing to do with the spread. Actually, it does, but the coin says the Bears, so I'm taking the Bears.
There you go.
Bears.
So the coin is wrong.
Coin is never wrong.
I'm riding the coin until it's wrong.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
The coin, yeah. The coin also says they're going to go on a 5-game winning streak after this, the Jets. So
Apparently, they're winning the division.
And going to the AFC Championship and they're losing.
Yeah, that
losing
ain't
the
happening.
AFC Championship.
That's definitely not happening.
I'm going Falcons.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm riding the Heineken train.
The Heine train?
Riding the Heine train. He needs some black and red Jordans.
That's a sick color combo for Jordans.
Oh, I
just like Taylor Heineke. He's got fight. He's got a good rapport with Terry McLaurin.
He was on with McAfee, I think,
dude.
today, and McAfee's like, "Hey, so what are you doing rest of the day?" I'm gonna go put a big piece of dip in my lip and go enjoy the rest of my day.
He's just a fun dude. I'm taking them.
Not promoting dip, of course.
Not promote it all you want.
Not a fan.
Well, this is a dumpster fire game.
Honestly, if I would have told you at the beginning of the season that the Broncos would be playing the Panthers and be 2.5-point favorite, it's only 2.5-point favorites.
I guess I'm going Broncos. I don't know how Sam Darnold is going to be.
Did you see the stat? I mean, I think they've been doing it every week.
Broncos are 3-7 against the spread, by the way.
If the Broncos would have scored 18 points in every game, they'd be 8-1.
Yeah.
I'm going Panthers. Broncos are 3-7
Yeah, I'm going
against the
Panthers
spread.
after you said that stat.
Didn't you say Sam Darnold is starting?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
The Broncos have been that bad.
They really have been. It's truly unbelievable. Did you see the Melvin Gordon thing?
Oh.
Yeah, they just cut him.
No, well, it might be a joke.
The low light. Yeah, the low light. That was a joke. I'm going
What?
Ravens. Not even thinking twice about it.
No, the future thing.
No, I didn't.
No.
There were sources that the reason they cut him was because he went in the locker room and started playing all future songs, which is
really? That's
Russell
hilarious.
Wilson's wife's ex. Yeah.
Baby mama. Baby daddy.
mama. Baby daddy. Yeah, that's the phrase.
Ravens. They look
100%.
terrible against Carolina, so I feel like they need a little bounce
Chargers.
back.
Yeah, but their defense is figuring it out.
Chargers.
Who's playing for the Cardinals? Is it still Colt McCoy?
Does it really matter?
Yeah, for 1.5 it does.
Yeah. I'll take my
Right
chances.
now, they have Kyler as questionable.
All right, I'm taking the Chiefs. I mean the Chargers.
You might as well take the Chiefs in that game.
I might as well take them too later.
I guess I'll take the Seahawks.
Ow, there's some bad games on Sunday.
This is really an awful
playing
Sunday.
Thursday this week, huh?
Sunday's just like a take the week off.
Sunday's going to be a nice clean up the room day.
Who are you picking, Steve?
Nobody.
I'm taking the Seahawks. Gino it up.
Me too.
I don't think I'm going to watch football on Sunday.
Raiders
That's
are going to
a lot.
ride high.
You're right. I'm taking
Taking the Niners.
I'm doing it. I'm taking the points. Fuck the
Yeah, I'm
Chiefs.
taking the points too. Oh no, I'm taking the Chiefs. Screw it.
Nope. Give me
Oh.
the points.
Give me the points.
They got to figure it out. Wait, is he
No
playing?
cup.
Shit, never mind.
I just
Yeah,
remember
Cubs
no
got
Cooper.
1 hour.
And I don't think Stafford's playing either.
Yeah, he got hurt again.
He did
Yeah,
get
he
hurt
got
again.
another
They took him
fucking
out.
concussion. Okay,
This
thank
is
you.
why is this only 4.5? There's something wrong here.
It's Niners can't put points on the board.
I don't care. The Saints
Yeah, they don't
stink.
use Christian McCaffrey enough. It's kind of
How
annoying.
about the comment out of Jameis?
Has
Yeah.
he lost his soul or something?
He lost his soul. He doesn't believe. He believes the rule is you don't lose your job to injury. Yeah, bro. That's usually how it works in the NFL.
Yeah, but Andy Dalton has not played well enough for him to lose his job to an injury. So
Right.
Well, it's also not their fault.
He's got a
not
point.
his fault that they don't have a first round pick.
But so he should be playing.
They still had a top 10 pick. It wouldn't have mattered right now who's playing quarterback because that's what they're playing for.
I would like to know. I know they haven't had 2 good games in a row. Why does the country think the Packers are going to cover this?
Eagles haven't because
I-
you know what? I'm gonna take the Packers. You wanna know why? Because that coach in Minnesota is a douchebag, going up and screaming at the Colts fans after you barely beat them. Like, bro, you won by 1 point, and also you're yelling it's for Frank Wright. Like, what the hell are you yelling about, bro?
The Green Bay Packers will not be covering that.
Yeah, I think the Eagles going to win by 10. Sunday
Yeah.
night, I think they're wearing their all blacks.
Black helmets. I did say last week when I heard that they were wearing all blacks that it was like Packers lose by 1 billion. But then again, Adam Thielen showed up to Minnesota last week in a Charlie Conway jersey, and well, yeah.
What'd I tell you?
Please tell me there's a Manning cast this week.
I'm going Colts. They've been playing red hot.
If the Colts were scheduled to be on the Monday night broadcast, you would think they'd put a Manning cast.
Nope.
Yeah, you would have thought so.
Well,
Nope. No Manning cast this week.
the
The next one is the Saints Bucks for
Kenny
week.
Pickett has looked
13.
better, but I'm still taking the Colts.
Matt Ryan, baby. All day.
45.
What's the over here in this game?
I'm
35?
I picked
39
I
is
picked
the
45.
over-under in this game.
We're going over.
I'm going 35.
I'm going to go 38.
Going with the under. There's no way.
Oh, we all went under.
So do we know what Aaron Judge ate for breakfast today?
I don't know what it is, but it was in San Francisco. I know that.
Yeah, because, you know.
Oh, and
now
that's
that-
why Andy Martino's story last week is full of shit, like always.
What
isn't
was his
every one of
story?
his stories
The,
full of
col-
shit?
the collusion one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's okay for the Yankees to go after Jacob deGrom? Come on.
He's a pain in the ass. I don't know. He usually has, like, whenever a Met thing happens, he's one of the first ones to get it.
Right. It's
So he
very
does
annoying.
have information, but his stories are bullshit.
Yeah.
Also, nobody thinks Jake is coming back nationally. They did an ESPN article today on where everybody's going, and they all said he's leaving, but they're replacing him with Carlos Rondon.
One, I'll replace him with Carlos Rendon. Two, I do believe the report, though, that he'll get an offer and then call Epler and say, this is what I was offered.
I would like to think that the Mets are now in a situation where no matter who you are as a free agent from them, you call them back last.
You get an automatic.
Well, it's just they have the money and the
Yes, they
reach
do.
to say every agent knows that they have this money. So even if you have a bad relationship with them, you would think you go back to them, you know, Nimmo, Jake, everybody. The relief pitchers even. I would think they would go back. So, everything okay?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's MLB off season is so slow.
Isn't it annoying?
Like the other sports, it's like the first 48 hours you can't get enough of it, and it's just like high speed caffeine hitting you all at once.
It's like
Right.
you don't even know when it actually starts. It's like the World Series
Right.
ends and it's like free agency. Here you
Right.
go.
It technically starts 5 days after the World Series. That is when
Right.
anybody can sign a
But
contract.
like, think about it. All these other sports, the NBA, you have your July 1st. You can start talking to everybody, and it's what
Right.
I think it's like 10 days until they could officially sign. So then
Right,
you're starting
it's
to hear
that
about the signing.
tampering
It's
period.
basically July 1st. Like the
The-
It's
agreement.
basically July
NHL
1st,
and
just they don't
NBA.
officially sign till the 10th, whatever.
Correct.
NHL,
July 1st.
12 noon, July 1st, free agency's open. You know,
That's it.
Well, the NFL has that week tampering period, and then the second
right? It's
4 o'clock
just like
hit.
the NBA, which I'm fine with. I'm
Oh
okay
yeah,
with
I
it.
love it.
Whatever. It's whatever. It is what
Gets
it is.
gets the rumor mill going, and
Oh,
then
it's
you kind
fun.
of like.
It's very
And
fun.
like, you get those fun ones when, the guy forgets to fax in the contract before his deadline.
But again, yeah. But with baseball, it's like we had it last year
Well, the
artificially,
flurry, yeah.
and it was crazy. And then after we thought we were gonna have it after the lockout, and it never happened after the lockout. They all like trickled in.
Right.
We thought as soon as the lockout opened, there was gonna be like 2 days where it was going nuts, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, that never happened. Yeah.
The leading up to one happened, but the one after it didn't happen. And it's not going to happen because Rob Ranford is just an idiot. They asked him about it last year if he would create one because this was so exciting, and he said, "No, the most negative response we get is when a team loses a player, so we're not going to do that." Okay, so teams are just going to lose players for no reason, at random times. The thing with us is our free agency is going to go longer because Nimmo is a Boris client, so it's going to be spring training by the time he signs a contract. So we're going to have to wait for that one. It's just
Yeah. This is
it is what it
nature
is.
of the beast.
Yeah.
I've said
We
it.
saw how that worked
If we're
out
not
for
that big
Conforto.
spender this year, it's basically saying they have to go all in on Otani next year.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. If you're
I'm all
not
for
bringing back
that.
Jake, you don't know if you're going to have Max in 2 years. You sign Rendon for a couple of years. You go all in on Otani next year. You get the 2 lefties in the rotation. You'll have 3 lefties ideally in the rotation next year, which is ideally unheard of.
I will leave it at this in that outside of something unforeseen, I don't see a route to being a better team
At this moment.
At this current
moment, yeah, 101 games.
Yeah, but in
How much
March,
better
when
room.
everybody finally starts signing their contracts and showing up to camp because nobody wants to go to camp.
being
be
better
different.
than 101. I know what you're saying, Danny, but like they have to get a better offense.
I
And
agree.
that's gonna either be not happen or it's gonna be at the loss of Jake, which I don't know if that helps that much. So that's where I'm at right now.
Right.
But who knows? Maybe they fucking trade for Corbin Burns. Who knows? Whatever.
I'm
I
going to say
didn't,
Trey
I didn't
Turner.
think Max Scherzer was a realistic thing last year.
Right.
And
No
then,
one
we
thought we
need
were
that
gonna
guy.
sign Marte.
We need that guy that tells
Who's
us
it
they're
gonna be?
signing,
right? Who's gonna
that
be?
backs out and says, "All right, here's the checkbook. It's open."
I need a mediocre MLB free agent
To tell
That's
us that
what
they
I
don't want to
need.
be here.
that used to be on the Mets.
Where's Juan Lagares? What's he up to?
I'm gonna say this year. I'm just scanning through people. Justin Turner, perfect.
That's the
Justin
$1 billion answer right there.
Justin Turner's the answer. Justin Turner's gonna say,
The
"Yep."
sad part
and
is
then
he will be a Met.
whoop,
There's more.
I want to go back to LA, and Steve's gonna go Carlos Correa. That's it. That's the answer.
Is he going to
That'd be
play
fun.
second though?
He'll play whatever he wants to play. He can play second or he can play third. It's his choice.
Him and Lindor can stand with each other at shortstop for all I care if he's on this team.
If they'd like to stand like 10 feet apart and both
Oh
consider
wait, we're not
themselves
allowed to
shortstop,
shift. So we'll have to
He
put the
can't-
third baseman
can't
onto
shift.
the first base side just so he could.
You're not allowed to shift. So he's technically going to be the third baseman, but if he wants to stand in the shortstop spot, I'll let him.
Right, they could sit next to each other and they can, do rock paper scissors to figure out who
They
gets the
can do
next one.
whatever they want. They could switch back and forth like Travis Darno did that game when he played third base and he just kept going from second to third when it was a lefty or a righty up. They can do that if they want.
Right, perfect. There you go. We figured it all out.
Whatever they want to do.
It's scary to think, but I'm going to say this out loud now. November 22nd, while we're recording. Correa is going to be the Yankees' starting shortstop to open the season.
They already signed IKF.
All right. Correa is going to be the starting shortstop for the New York
Okay.
Yankees to open the season. That's just my opinion on it.
He is going to be a giant. They're not going to get Judge, and he's going to be a giant. That's what's going to happen.
Because if they don't sign Judge, they have to sign Correa.
Well, that's what I'm saying. One of them is going to the Giants. That's my answer. So I don't know, whatever. One of
You know
those
what I
two
heard
is going to the
interesting?
Giants.
As good as J.P. Crawford has been in Seattle, the biggest question mark in Seattle has been shortstop for a long time. And with them being a young team who just made the playoffs, don't be shocked that after the new year you start hearing their names and guys like Correa and Turner and Bogarts
I think I
or
heard
Darby
Dan-
Swat.
So many good
Yeah.
names.
I heard Dansby for them. But you're not wrong.
They're going to look to spend their money this year. They need to spend money after you signed Rodriguez. And just
They
move
already
forward.
spent money. Yeah.
Right. You can't sign him, have the year you had, and then go in with the same team.
I could see it. I would like them to get Trey Turner specifically so he doesn't go to the Phillies.
Well, someone's got to go to the Braves once,
Well, they don't have to. They have a guy. They have a
a
young
guy.
shortstop.
Somehow
do.
they always
They have
have
a
a
young-
guy.
See, correct. But similar to the way that the Astros just let Correa walk, they have a dude behind him to play shortstop. So they don't have to get somebody if they let Dansby walk. But I don't think he's going anywhere either.
Ay, ay, ay. Anywho, with that being said, everybody enjoy. Have a happy, safe Thanksgiving.
Enjoy your football. Go Giants. Please don't embarrass us on national TV.
Score a touchdown. Just
Score
Score an
offensive
offensive
touchdown.
Just one offensive touchdown.
Just one.
Break that streak.
Maybe Megan Kenny Galladay. Maybe.
That's going to be the one. You know what? That is going to be the one. If there's going to,
I
if there
convinced
was
you
ever a
again.
streak,
We just-
I feel
That's
like
the $5 down the drain again. I
There's a
convinced
little
you.
$5 down the drain.
No, it's going to be Nick Gates.
That's a good one.
Better
No,
chance
we're
of
still on
Andrew
the fade
Tom-
Andrew
of-
Thomas. Yeah.
Better chance of Shane Lemieux getting on the field and catching a touchdown as an eligible receiver than Kenny Galladay at this point. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.
All
We'll
right.
see you guys next week.